All right, in 7.5, we're graphing systems of inequalities. So in 7.1, we graphed systems of equations, which were just lines. Now we're going to do inequalities, which means we're going to have greater than or less than and shading. So you're basically remembering things from chapter 5 and from chapter 6 to do this. The first problem we're going to do is y is greater than x plus 2, and y is less than or equal to negative 2x minus 1. So we're going to start with the first equation and completely do the first one. So y is greater than x plus 2 means I'm going to have my y-intercept is 2, and my slope is 1 over 1, which will mean up 1 and to the right 1. So I'll make dots all the way across, and then I have to decide, is it going to be a solid line? Is it going to be a solid line or a dashed line? So y is greater than is a dashed line. Then I have to remember about shading. Y is greater than means I shade above the line. So you're going to take your pencil and very lightly shade above this line. Just take your pencil and do it lightly all the way across. And then we'll go on to our next equation. So y is less than or equal to negative 2x minus 1. My y-intercept is now is negative 1. Put a dot on negative 1. My slope is negative 2 over 1, which means down 2 and to the right 1. So from negative 1, I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 1. I'm also going to go up 2 and to the left 1. Again, I'm going to decide, is it a solid line or a dashed line? Since I have this line underneath, it means it's a solid line. Again, I have to decide how to shade. Less than means I'm shading below the line. So again, you will take your pencil and lightly shade this second one below the line. Now your answer to this is, where do the two shadings overlap? So in this region, you'll take your pencil and darken it in so it looks much darker than the other shadings, and then that will be your answer. So I will be checking your graph, everything on it, to see if you got it right. I'll be checking each line graphed right, y-intercepts right, slope right, shading right, and that you've darkened in the right place. Okay, let's go on to, okay, in this next one, we're going to graph x plus y is greater than 4, and x plus y is less than negative 1. So now we have to remember that whenever we're graphing, we have to have the equation in the form of y equals mx plus b. So I've got to take this x plus y is greater than 4 and get y alone. Subtracting x from both sides, I end up with y is greater than negative x plus 4. Now, my y-intercept is 4, and my slope is negative 1 over 1, which is going to mean down 1 and to the right 1. So I'm going to go from the 4, down 1 and to the right 1. Then I have to decide dashed line or solid line. This is a dashed line. Then y is greater than means to shade above the line. So I'm going to lightly take your pencil lightly and shade above that line. Now my other equation. X plus y is less than negative 1. I have to get y alone. I have y is less than negative x minus 1. My y-intercept is -1. My slope, again, is -1/1, which again is down 1 and to the right 1. So from here, down 1 to the right 1. Again, I have to decide if it's dashed line or solid line. This is another dashed line. I'm shading, y is less than is shading below the line. So I'm going to lightly shade below the line. Then our answer is to look at this and see where do the two shadings overlap. In this problem, they don't overlap at all, so we say there's no solution to this problem. It's just no solution. Okay, in the next problem, we're going to graph y is greater than 2 and x is less than -2. If you think you know how to do this one, go ahead and do it, and then come back and pause it, come back and check your answer. So I'm going to do this. Y is greater than 2. There's a y and no x, so that tells me that this is a Hoy problem, which tells me I'm going to have a horizontal line, and on the y-axis it goes through 2. So it also tells me greater than is a dashed line. Also tells me that greater than means I'm going to shade above that line. Now I'm going to do the other one. X is less than -2. There's an x and no y, so that tells me this is a Vux problem. It's going to be a vertical line. On the x-axis, it's going to go through -2. Again, it's just x is less than, so a dashed line. And then, which direction do I shade? X is less than, I look at the x-axis, and it's pointing to the way it wants me to shade, to the left. So I will lightly shade to the left of that line. Then you'll take your pencil and darken in where the two overlap, which is this section. Okay, I want you to do this last one on your own. So you're going to graph y minus x is greater than 4, and x plus y is greater than 2. So do the whole thing, pause this, do the whole thing, then come back and check. Okay, I'm going to start with y minus x greater than 4. I have to get my y alone, so I add x to both sides. I'm graphing y is greater than x plus 4. So my y-intercept is 4. My slope is 1/1, up 1 to the right 1. I decide, is it going to be a dashed line or a solid line? Y is greater is a dashed line. I decide shade above because y is greater is above the line. So I'm going to shade that one lightly with your pencil above the line. Now I'm going to do the other one. X plus y is greater than 2. Subtract x. Y is greater than -x plus 2. My y-intercept is 2. My slope is -1/1. That would be down 1 and to the right 1. I decide dashed line, because there's no line underneath it, and y is greater than is going to be above the line. So I will lightly shade above the line. My answer is going to be where do the two shadings overlap and they overlap in this region. So that's my answer. So this should be all you need. If you can do that problem on your own, you'll be able to do the problems.